Okay, let's go ahead and start with our dividing. Number 8 says a batch of cookies requires 1.5 cups of sugar. How many batches can time make with 7.5 cups of sugar? So, same thing. When we start with 8, we start with analyzing. So, how many batches can time make with 7.5 cups of sugar? We have our important numbers. Now, we're going to go ahead and plan. So we know that 1.5 is needed for one batch. We have 7.5. So we're breaking this up into 1/2 to see how many totals we can make. So we're going to need to divide here. We're dividing our total amount of sugar by the required cups of sugar for one batch of cookies. So this one goes right here in the front, divided by 1.5. Now remember, when we have mixed numbers, we can't use those. So we're going to have to use Texas to change them into improper fractions. Add at the top, multiply at the bottom, and follow the arrow. 2 times 7 plus 1 is going to go up here at the top, and your denominator stays the same. Now, our second one, 2 times 1 plus 1 goes at the top. Your denominator stays the same. Now that we have our improper fractions, we can follow our division rules. Remember, we have our keep, change, and flip. So we're going to keep this fraction. We're just going to bring it straight down. We change our divide to a multiply, and we flip the second fraction. Then you bring it down here. So here we have 2 and whatever we got at the top. And over here, our 2 is at the top, and we bring down the bottom. Then we multiply straight across. Top times top, bottom times bottom. And don't forget, if it's easier for you to cross simplify, go ahead and do that now so that you don't have to simplify at the very end. Because when you multiply the top times top and bottom times bottom, remember at the end, you always need to simplify. Let's move on to the next one. Which expression does not have the value of negative 0.75? Here's our question. Here's our number. And here is our keyword, does not. Now remember, for this first one, we keep the first number. We change the sign. Now here they gave us just a decimal. When we make that, go ahead and make that into a fraction. Put a 1 underneath, or divided over 10. And then see if you can simplify. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Don't forget to flip your number when you put it over here as a fraction. Simplify at the end. So remember, you can make them fractions, or you can change the fraction into a decimal. So if we want to make our fractions into decimals, we use neato. 4 divided by 5. 5 can't go into 4. It fits 0 times. I add a decimal. I add a 0. 5 goes into 40 8 times. So now I can just divide like normal. -0.8 divided by 0.6. Whichever way you think is easier. If you want to make the fractions into decimals or decimals into fractions, go ahead and do so. So remember, you can also think about this like money. If you have a denominator of 5, think about $20 bills. 5 $20 bills make up $100. 4 of those $20 bills gives you 80. We just took off the 0 at the end over here. So we can do the same thing with this one. 1.8 divided by -2.2 $20 bills is 40. So that's 2.4. Here, they already gave us the decimal. We're going to go ahead and make this fraction into a decimal, dividing the same thing that we did for the first one. Numerator in, denominator out. Because the bigger number is on the outside, this is going to give you a decimal. Then do the same thing for this one. -0.9 divided by 1 $20 bill is $20. I just take off the 0. But when we're writing them like this, the number that's in the front is the number that goes inside. And then the number behind it is the one on the outside. So remember, our key word here is does not. So 3 of these are going to give you this correct answer. One of them is going to be wrong. It's your job to find the one that's wrong. Let's look at the last one. Dorothy wants to save $72.24 to buy her grandmother a special birthday gift. She has 12 weeks to save the money. If she wants to save the same amount each week, how much money in dollars and cents does she have to save each week? Our question, how much money in dollars and cents does she need to save each week? My numbers, 72.24 and 12. Our keywords, same amount each. So this right here is the total. I'm breaking this up into weeks. I'm breaking it up into 12 weeks. So remember, when you're breaking things up, that's a division. So I'm dividing the 72.24 into 12 weeks to find out how much she has to earn in 1 week. Our total is the one being broken up. So that's what goes on the inside. And we're breaking that up by 12 weeks. Whatever you get when you divide should be your answer. Don't forget to move your decimal up to the top.